behind the scenes with future country rock blues kings and queens. Discover them first with Palm Mash TV. Palm Mash TV.
Well, hello there. It's Paul Mash TV time again. Thank you so much for joining us. We got a great interview coming up shortly. But before we begin, don't forget about that subscribe button and bell below you there. And when you click those, you'll always be notified of any new episodes. And leave a comment on the comment section if you like. And also in the description, we'll have contact info there. And we'll also have contact info at the closing credits at the end of the show, so stay tuned for that. From Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada, we have Buzz Hummer with us today. Very awesome artist, and I think you will agree. And we'll get to that in just a second because it starts right now. Okay, here we are with the interview, and with us from Niagara Falls, Canada, we have Buzz Hummer with us today. Thanks for joining us, Buzz.
Well, thank you. Glad to be here.
Yeah, no problem. Well, everybody has their own story. That's why I like to ask this first question a lot. But tell me a little bit about how it all began for you. I mean, I'm sure you always wanted to be an artist since you were a child. Maybe it goes deeper than that. But anyway, tell us in your own words.
Well, 60 years ago, last Friday, the Beatles showed up on Ed Sullivan. And like a lot of kids, I went, wow, that's pretty cool. And bugged my parents for a guitar and then started bugging them immediately for a better guitar. And then eventually I went and got a part-time job so I could buy a real guitar. But yeah, so like a lot of kids around the world, especially in North America, grew up listening to the Beatles and the other British invasion stuff. Was in a couple of high school bands and that kind of stuff. Didn't really go anywhere. And then life got in the way, and I went off and worked in the computer business for 34 years, and then was able to retire a little while back and come down to this little town near Niagara Falls and got back to my real passion, which is music. So, yeah, influences are, anything from the 60s and 70s and all the stuff that influenced them. So blues and R&B from the 40s and 50s and whatnot.
Okay. You just mentioned the Beatles. I'm sure they were a big influence on you. Did you have any other influences?
Well, sure, all the British invasion stuff initially. So, Rolling Stones, the Animals, the Who, all those guys, and then later on Cream and Led Zeppelin and whatnot. In the late 60s, I got entranced by the singer-songwriter guys like Cat Stevens and James Taylor and those sorts. Bob Dylan was always in the background there. I don't think I got a full appreciation until I was well past middle age, but he's certainly one of my heroes now. So,
okay. Okay. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, well, and then eventually went back and started paying attention to the guys that influenced the guys I grew up with idolizing. So the 50s rock and roll guys, Elvis and Chuck Berry, and the blues guys like Muddy Waters and John Lee Hooker and whatnot. So it's a long list.
Yeah, that's quite a list there. Like I said, a lot of them were good. Like you mentioned, the Stones, the Animals, Bob Dylan was another great one. I mean, I liked all those bands you mentioned, so I can see how you get your influences from there. In a moment, we're going to be watching that music video. We were, as always, and just want to let you know we want to know where we can find more of your music once we see the video. I mean, can we get it on streaming platforms? Can we? Do you have an official website? Maybe you could say your Facebook page as well if you have one. Go ahead and tell them all that.
Yeah, well, you can find my original stuff on iTunes and Spotify. My website, Buzz Hummer on Facebook, Buzz Hummer Music on Instagram, Buzz Hummer on YouTube, and if you Google, I sort of camp on a free website for my main website. If you just Google Buzz Hummer, you'll find me. But the links are also on all those other websites. So all the normal, social media.
Okay. Okay, well, that's good. So go to those streaming media sites he mentioned, and I know he would love you for that. And the video in question is called, what's it called again? One Eye Open?
One Eye Open.
And tell us a little story about that. I'm sure there's a great story behind that song.
Yeah, well, the chorus is I sleep with one eye open every night. Uh, it's I guess it's about there's a lot of problems in the world, and some of them are kind of scary. You can take your pick about which one's scary the most, or whether any of them scary at all. But you know, most people think most of those issues are problems, whether it's climate change or gun violence or whatever. But it seems that we would rather spend our time shouting at each other on Twitter and whatnot, as opposed to working together to try to fix the problem. So that's kind of what the song's about.
Hmm.
Somebody deal with this stuff instead of scaring me or shouting at each other.
Okay.
Idea. That's the idea.
Well, it is a great song, and like I said, we'll begin to that in just a second. But Buzz, we thank you so much for being on the show today. Anytime you want to come back, let me know, and we'll have you back on. You can give us some follow-up stuff and everything.
Okay, thanks, Paul.
Okay. Well, here it is, One Eye Open by Buzz Humber. It begins right now.
Oh, remember there's guns on the corner. Oh, remember there's guns in my school. So many guns, Mama, it's giving me a fright. Now I sleep with one eye open every night. Oh, Mama, they're studying in the county. Oh, Mama, they're studying all around. So many floods, Mama, it's giving me a fright. Now I sleep with one eye open every night. All around there's drugs on the counter. All around there's drugs in our food. So many drugs, Mama, it's giving me a fright. Now I sleep with one eye open every night. Well, I don't know how it happened, but I know that it ain't right. And I sleep with one eye open every night. Oh, Mama, they're shouting from the rooftops. Shouting all day long, Mama, all their phones. There's so much shouting, Mama, it's giving me a fright. Now I sleep with one eye open every night. Every night. Every night.